did you say it's another one? I don't like using the word woke, by the way, only because in the same way I don't like really using the word virtue signal, even though I kind of half think I might have invented that, or at least given it the kick into the media stratosphere, where it became every other person using it. The reason I don't like using the word woke is because there's a sort of a sense it's been used so much. It's sort of up there with the phrase political correctness gone mad, where you no longer are advancing a reasoned point through comical language to highlight something. You're kind of wheeling out a tired old trope that is said by everybody to such an extent that it's sort of lost its meaning. But sometimes only the word woke will do, because I can't really think of another one having said all of that. And I'm thinking of this primary school teacher. Did you see this in East Yorkshire? Who's placed, it's similar to a story we touched on a couple of weeks ago about the house names being changed. I can't remember what the previous story was. Somebody had changed the name of one house to something else. And this has kind of gone to another level. So this is Lee Hill. And their houses at school were called, they had the Nelson House, Admiral Nelson, the Drake House, Sir Francis Drake, and the Raleigh House, Sir Walter Raleigh. That makes sense. And he thought this was just too much. There was too much, it was horrible and British, and they with their fancy old-fashioned clothes on and their discoveries and their voyages and their battles. And it's got something of the Old English, and they're probably slave-owning dodgepots back in the day, and I'm sure they were not very pleasant to people and did horrible things to anyone that came in. So let's change it. And I'll come to what they changed it to in a second, because that's the big line. But the reason he changed it was because one pupil wrote to him, and this shows you the conflation of idiocy and hysteria and hyperventilating mumbo jumbo and nonsense that is going on out there right now. So Mr. Hill, the head teacher, have you seen this fella? Have you seen Mr. Hill? He doesn't look like a head teacher. He looks like a contestant from Love Island. This fella is pretty trendy. He doesn't look particularly old. And he's full of tats. He's got a load of tattoos there. So I imagine the kids think he's pretty cool, this guy. So he's certainly not like Mr. Barson, my headmaster, who, yes, I know his name really was Barson. You can only imagine the kind of stick that man got, who was always suited and, in the usual headmaster attire. This fella is Cool Bag McDougal. He's out there looking, he's got the tats, he's got the short sleeves to show off the muscles, he's got the white teeth and the hair, he's got everything going on. So he got a letter from one pupil, or former pupil, during the Black Lives Matter protests. And he said, I received a passionate and brave email from a former pupil. Now, firstly, that's fine. Why is it brave? I don't understand why it's brave. So this pupil apparently educated him about the history of these three house names, but also explained the impact of seeing these figures who have links to slavery, oppression and racism. And she explained the impact it had on her during her time at school, which I would imagine she's probably retrospectively made up. I can't imagine many 12-year-olds looked at a picture of Walter Raleigh and thought, him, the slave-owning racist. I don't imagine, I'm not even aware of the specific histories of all of those people, other than loose correlations that people make. And even if you did say, back in the day, this person wasn't very pleasant to that group of people or that group, well, show me anyone in history from the 14, 15, 16, 1700s that has got a nice clean slate. Show me any voyager or any person that went around the world, whether they are sitting in the Spanish Armada, whether they are somebody who's leaving Plymouth Hoe on a boat, whether they're from any other country around. Show me any of those guys that had a nice clean CV of being thoroughly pleasant to everybody they came in touch with. You cannot eradicate the time and what happened and what was relevant to that time. So they've decided they want to be a little bit more progressive. So they don't have Nelson, Drake and Raleigh as their houses. They've changed them to Greta Thunberg, Marcus Rashford, and even Joe Biden's inauguration poet, Amanda Gorman. Yeah, that's what he's done. I'll believe this man's authenticity when he has a massive tattoo of Greta on the cheeks of his what's-it. Then I'll say, now I think, yeah, now I believe you. In the meantime, I'm afraid we'll have to elevate him back to Premier League position 1 of the wokerati. This is Talk Radio.